Hi, this is Greg McCoach, editor of the Mining Speculator. I'm here today with Thomas Mumford of Scottie Resources. Thomas, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on, Greg.
Yeah, we're here at the 2019 November Metals Investor Forum. We just presented our talks up on the main stage in front of everybody. It was well received. We had a lot of good question and answer afterwards. Obviously, Scottie is getting a lot of attention right now, and for good reason, because you're in the Golden Triangle. There's a lot of things happening up there despite the seasonality that we see. But next year looks like a year that it all comes together for us. And as I mentioned, I'm very bullish on what's going to happen in gold. I believe gold prices are headed higher now in the very near term. We're just in this little pause period, but I really think things are going to break out even further. Yeah. And a company like you that's getting set to drill some very high priority targets in one of the best, mining jurisdictions in the world for new high-grade discoveries. It's exciting.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's get into the story a little bit. And first, let's talk about your background just for a minute, and then we'll get into more specifics.
Yeah, so exploration geologist. I've been working across Canada for the last 12 years. I just came from BCIT, where I was the program head for the mining department there. And basically I had my summers off for the last 6 or 7 years, and I would use that opportunity to get out in the field and work for as many consulting companies and up-and-coming companies as I could to see as many rocks as I could. Last summer, I came in for a week-long program for Scottie Resources. I was working for Equity Exploration at the time, and I came in to, get a program started for them, just a week-long relogging program. Met Brad and really liked the company and the ground that they were sitting on. And at that time, we just had 400 hectares, and it was still exciting at that point. And so Brad kind of convinced me to come on board, and I did part-time throughout the year, and then left my job at BCIT in May, and been full-time since then. And
here we go.
Yeah, we're on the road.
We're on the let everything fly here, so let the drills turn, right?
Yeah.
So one thing I want to mention, I love it that, I've been trying to get younger people into, investing in our sector. It's good to see a young man like you.
Investing his life into it.
Right, no, so it's great. No, I think guys like, Chris Taylor, Great Bear, guys like you, wonderful that we have that kind of talent coming into the space. So replace all us graybeards, Anyway, so let's get into the fun part here because, I look at a lot of different projects, exploration projects, and as you saw on the stage there, I get really excited when I see a combination of certain things, and it's really lighting up for me with Scottie. And I mean, I was, as soon as I understood this, within 10 minutes, I was on the phone to Brad, how much can I buy, So anyway, I'm a big shareholder. I'm going to buy more in the market as it gets weaker during this, next 6 weeks.
It's not going to get weaker. You buy now.
Buy now. That's right. I'm telling everybody, this is it. We always look for timing in this market, and this is one of those great moments when you can buy super low right before the big move happens, and that's because of seasonality issues. It's a rough junior mining stock market after a tough exploration season. The stocks have sold off, seasonality in Golden Triangle, whatever. It's all a blessing right now because you're getting a chance to buy low before this major run. And I think things are really going to get rocking and rolling. So the specifics of why I really, when this thing just it ignited, it was like a bunch of sparks hit all of a sudden. And I just thought, whoa, this thing's, I got to be involved, right? And one of those things was when I heard that in addition to having an old gold mine, right, from the 1980s that was producing $150 million in infrastructure put in there, right?
Still got a mill underground.
Road access, for the Golden Triangle, that's a big deal. Right. So you can drive right to the project. And when I heard that Ron Nedlitsky had been trying to get this project for many, many years, the Australian gentleman didn't sell it. He passes away, and Scottie gets it. And Ron calls Brad and says, "Hey, I have a gift for you." Right? And he had flown that airborne and presented it to Brad. And of course, we got these high priority targets that line up with the mine on trend and some other areas. And of course, it's very exciting. So. What's your thoughts?
It's the same. I mean, when I came into the project, like I said, like I left my job, we only had that 400 hectares around the Scottie gold mine at that point.
Right.
And we saw the potential even there. Like they found the vein on surface, they started drilling it, and then they started mining it. And they didn't really step outside that. So there was a lot of potential just in those original hectares that we held.
Right.
And then once we acquired this piece of land that surrounds that entire package, I mean, he was trying to sell it years ago for $45 million.
Right.
Yeah. And so we acquired it on the cheap. I mean, $250,000 over 5 years with 2 million shares, 2.2 million shares. I mean, it was a steal of a deal to get that piece of land. And
right.
Yeah, we acquired that in April, and we knew that's where our focus was going to go this summer. So the start of the summer, we just started hitting that as hard as we could and flying out there. It's back up over a ridge, most of it, from Scottie, just literally up over the ridge from there. And a lot of glacial retreat. We're finding tons of samples that were warranted, massive sulfide lenses, big veins in the system, and they all look similar to what we had at Scottie. So we knew we were onto it already as soon as we got in the ground. And yeah, the grades that came back. I mean, last week we put out, or just this couple of days ago, we put out that release, 536 gram grab sample. Grab. This isn't something like we're high grading something that's known there. This is I took the literal sample and just boom, I was surprised with the results myself when we got it when we got it back, and so. We've got a big swath there on the other side that we know we can go back into and get a lot of samples from, and you can see the structure. It's a big gossamer shear structure, and that'll be where we put the first few drill holes in next year.
And of course, anything like that would have existed, that kind of outcrop would have been mined and exhausted decades ago, right?
Yeah, it just wasn't available. It literally wasn't available. Like we were mapping things. I had a massive sulfide lens just on touching the glacier, like things that just pulled back in the last 2 or 3 years for some of it.
Yeah.
And it's been 30 years since somebody looked at it. There's expanses of rocks there that just have not been seen before.
Right, and very exciting. So you got stuff right around the mine. And it's surprising that the people who were producing the gold didn't explore a little bit more.
It is surprising, but at the same time, like they didn't need to. They had an underground mine. They were mining. They had ore in front of them. It wasn't like they were running out. Like they had another year's production in front of them, and they were just poking holes as they were going.
Right.
It was the economics that shut down the mine.
Right. So we're not miners.
Nope.
We are an exploration company. Our job is to build the ounces, find further discoveries, tie it into what's there, and get bought out. That's our goal.
And we've got 2 natural buyers right next to us. We've got Pretium with Bruce Jack, just to the north of us, and then on road we've got Ascot, who's just going to turn on a 2,800 ton per day mill just to the south of us, and we have to drive by their property. Pretium's also shipping concentrate out of Stewart, and so they're backhauling trucks all the way back up to Bruce Jack Mine. So
wow. So that's you have a discovery, it'll be bought out.
Yeah.
I mean, with those kind of surroundings like that, it's just really, really positive for that. So that's what we look for: big upside potential for a buyout. With a few drill holes, we can really test our theories really quickly and try to get some mojo here in 2020.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll listen. Anything else you want to mention while we're wrapping up?
We're at 13 and a half cents now. I can't see it going any lower. We're at a $10 million market cap. It's just
especially after this conference, you can see the interest from people who are attending.
And we've got all our surface results coming out over the next few weeks, and then we've got our drill results, because we did a 2,000 meter drill program at the end of the season last year, and so those results will be hitting the papers in early January.
Yeah. Well, Thomas, pleasure to meet you.
You too. Thank you.
Cross our fingers and see what happens in 2020.
All right.
Scottie Resources, Vancouver MIF Conference. Greg McCoach signing off.